Hi friends. Well, today I'm sitting on my front porch on a beautiful comfy couch. There's Jamie's tree in the background. We put some of his ashes in that tree. And it's a rainy one, which is kind of nice really. I love sitting, listening to the rain and watching the rain and smelling the rain, that renewal. And it always gives you an excuse. Just want to be careful of my neighbours here. Hold on, here we go, and back around. Yeah, the rain. I find it very cleansing, and it was very helpful for me today, particularly because I'm a bit under the weather. My daughter brought home sickness from camp. The whole year got sick, and yes, now Benny's got it, and I'm feeling it today as well. Just could feel a bit in my throat and just a bit under the weather, a bit tired. So it's sort of forced us to stop, forced us to just be, and this rain has been delightful. Now, because I'm not feeling the best, I decided to take a bath today. It's sort of one of the things I like to do when I'm not feeling well, and just get really hot, sweat it out, put some salts in there, and yeah, it's just always one of those pleasurable things for me. I love a bath, especially a very hot bath. So I ran a bath, and as I lay in the bath and got still and quiet, as I have been expressing have been the main practices in my world, and the best practices in my world at the moment, I was contemplating this journey here. Once again, I've been showing up here, and it's been on my mind, and I've been just been tapping into it more and more in terms of who I'm speaking to, who I want to speak to, and what it is I'm here to do and share. And I could sense that there's this teaching emerging, practical teaching of how to apply these principles that I talk about. But that was my mind talking, so I decided to place my head just under the water, my ears just under the water, where I couldn't, hear outside, and could just, when you just get that seclusion underwater, and it's the sound as well. And in that space, because I'm congested, my ears were thumping so loudly, and I've got all this congestion up here, and being in the bath, it was really hot. My heart rate was really quite high, so the thumping in my ears was just so loud. And I had this flashback to when I was a little kid. And I was just thinking about this the other day, which was so weird, but it was this flashback to when I was a kid. I used to have really bad ears when I was growing up, and I would often have, I had to have grommets put in my ears. I was always having ear tests, and they took me into hospital and cleaned out my sinuses, and they were constantly putting me on antibiotics, constantly getting ear infections. I was pulled out of swimming lessons. It was a bit of a drama as I was younger in terms of my ears. And so they were always congested and often quite blocked, and I was often sinusy and blocked. And they used to make that noise a lot. And as a kid, it was like this, like that real pulsing, when you hear the blood pulsing in your ears. And anyway, I was sort of under the bath remembering this as a kid, and I remembered that I used to have this recurring dream that went alongside the pulsing of my ears, possibly when my ears were really bad. And it was a dream, it was a nightmare. And it was a recurring nightmare that I had this robot. I think there were a bunch of robots, but particularly one robot that would get to my house and to my front door, and the noise was the robot's feet going, trying to find me, trying to get me. And I was petrified as a kid of this dream, like absolutely petrified, and it would wake me up, and it would cause a lot of fear, And so as I was lying in the bath, remembering, like having this flashback to this moment and this version of myself, it really tapped me back into that idea of fear, that driving force that was, the driving force of my life up until my son died. And that's where this whole journey really began for me, it was when my son died, and I had to meet fear head on. I had to look it in the face, and in doing so, you'd think it would increase my fear, but the opposite happened. It was like I saw through the illusion. It was the meeting of myself, realizing that, I had a choice in these things. But as I was lying in the bath, feeling into this fear, I realized that really what happens to all of us is it just gets held inside, you know, this fear state. And like I said before, whatever's going on inside, it transfers to the outside. So, you know, this fear vibration that so many of us are holding on to inside, it creates that feeling of unsafety, of you know, people try to control and cling, and they separate themselves because they don't feel safe, and it's like all these things in your life will then confirm, you know, the fear and confirm that you're not safe, but it's all just this stuff that you're holding inside. And so as I was sitting there and I was listening to the pulsing, I thought, well, what's my wisdom been? It's been to sit and you be with it. And so I sat and I listened, and I just went back to the place of listening, you know, witnessing. Hello, kookaburras, they confirm. And as the witness, it was fascinating because the pulsating, like heavy noise, it just started to, as I sort of placed my attention lightly on it, it started to change. It literally changed into a different sound, and it was kind of like this kind of, I kid you not, it was like a dance beat, and I quite like my dance beats, like I've been known to like a rave or two. And so it started being like, I'm there going, oh, right, okay, you know, I got the message, like it transforms. And it's true, like when you meet the fear, or when a fear comes and you take action anyway, which means you're not following the fear, you step forwards anyway, the fear dissipates and it transmutes, it transforms. It transforms into something else, and you realize that it's not real, and it loses its hold on controlling you. And so in the realization that, you know, my journey had began in this place of meeting my own fear, which had cultivated from such a young age and held me back for so long, I went back to the place that I've been speaking of, back to the spaciousness, back to the witnessing presence, back to the awareness, back to me, the truth of me. And so I breathed into it, and I became the witness of the one listening to the pulsating dance music. And in that spaciousness, that stillness, that awareness, it's that place of ease, that place of peace, and it's that place of knowing awareness and creativity. It's a place where you get to create, you get to say how it goes. It takes a lot of trust to get to that place, but it's a bloody good place. And when you can get to that place of presence and awareness and live from that place more and more, it's like you've just got this divine team on your side that guides you, and the opportunities flow. No longer do you have the fear vibrating out and bouncing off of your atmosphere and bringing that back, because let's face it, your heart is just a magnetic force field pulsing it all out to everything. And so what are you going to get back when you got fear in there? More things to feel fearful about. Whereas when you come from a loving space, it's like you get these opportunities and connections and synchronicities and beautiful, joyous experiences and adventures. And also an openness and a curiosity for what you don't know, for just experiencing it, you know, not trying to control it, just allowing it. And it's a really nice place to live from, the place of allowance. And so in that space, that's where you really get to ask, you know, what am I here to create? Like, what am I here to be? You know, what am I here to do, and what do I want to offer? And that's where I came full circle to my initial reason for my meditation in the bath, which was, you know, thinking about what I'm doing here. And it was so obvious from that space, you know, that is what I'm passionate about. I'm definitely passionate about teaching this stuff, or expressing it, you know. I think I've often struggled with the word teaching because I'm still learning too, you know, but I enjoy sharing it, and I enjoy seeing others grow and learn from it, which I've had the privilege of doing, coaching many clients and working with many people now. And it's my hope here that you know, whoever is drawn to come and watch my videos, you know, may be inspired in their own worlds to cultivate this, which, as I said before, it's a journey of self-discovery, you know, only you can do it. And I do believe that this spaciousness that I'm speaking of, that really, that's what love is. You know, the word love, it gets so misunderstood and there's so many ideas placed on it, and, you know, we pair it with romantic love and, you know, and all kinds of other love, and, you know, and people have all kinds of ideas. It's like God, you know, there's loaded words, but I do believe that it's really just that spaciousness, that place of truth, of awareness, of, you know, of loving awareness, as Ram Dass would say. Because really, when you act out of that space, I have a beautiful magpie just flew over my head. When you act out of that space, you know, you're acting out of truth, out of presence, and out of that open curiosity, you know, and allowance, you know, not trying to control and manipulate, but being open, inviting, welcoming, you know, it's the opposite of fear. Love. So we've come full circle once again. It's funny that. And so my enlightening bath enlightened me to jump back on and make another video. How cool. But that inspiration came from stopping and getting quiet, not from searching. So it's like in letting go and listening, the answers come and the wisdom comes. It's about a letting go. So yeah, I'm excited to trust in this process more, trust in myself, trust in whoever is here with me. Hello, welcome. And it's my hope that, you know, I can inspire and guide and help anyone else who wants to deepen their practice in this and live well, because that's, at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? You know, everybody thinks they want these things outside of themselves, but really we all just want to feel good and live well. And it's our birthright to do so. So if you want more of that, then yeah, keep watching on, and I'll see you in the next video. Sending so many blessings and so much love to you all. Mwah.